Action. Hello, Warners. And
Hey.
hello, Gina.
Hello, gorgeous Rachel.
And hello, Audrey.
Oh, hey, Audrey. I thought you were just showing me your hairdo.
Oh, well, I will. There you go.
It's gorgeous.
Thank you. Well, I stopped by Brittany at Rock, Paper, Scissors. You guys, she's the best. Just for another item that I had to do with her. And she's like, I have 20 minutes. You want to play with your hair? And I was like, okay. So
Are you going to wear it like that for the wedding?
yeah, probably something similar to this.
Yeah, I like it.
Like not sloppy, messy updo.
Like it. I like it.
Thank you. And where are you? Tell us where you are.
I am in Dallas, Texas. I'm on the Gina tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in Dallas this I'm in Dallas till next Thursday, and then I fly to Orlando. So I'm doing a lot of speaking engagements for Vistage and other women's groups in Dallas, and meeting with our amazing PR agency and their team. Hey, Paige Dawson and team. So they've got me speaking at some events. So it's speaking.
Awesome. I see Michael watching us. Hi, Michael. I haven't seen him
Hey,
for
Michael.
years. He's like the coolest dude ever, but I won't even go there. That will take forever.
Okay.
But, thanks for joining us, Michael. And so
Quickie tips.
All right. So my quickie tip for the day is, quickly, Leslie's here. I'm on a 3-day juice cleanse from Leslie. Be well. Check her out.
I need a juice cleanse from Leslie. That's another story. Okay.
Anyways, so my quickie tip is, if it doesn't get scheduled, it doesn't get done. And that is not my phrase. That's a phrase that a lot of people use, but a lot of people have asked me in the past, like last quarter when I had basically 3 full-time jobs and then started this podcast with you, and I'm a mom and I got engaged. I had all these things going on, and I almost always have too much going on. But the way that I get things done is that I schedule absolutely everything. If I need to stop and get bananas or toilet paper, if I am scheduling a yoga class or a workout, if I'm scheduling dinner with Felix, or scheduling picking up Roxy from school, or of course my chunks of sales calls and appointments, I put it all in my calendar. I like to use a written calendar just to schedule out my week, but I put everything in my phone as well with alerts and reminders. And that way I know when it's time for X block of time to start, then I stop what I'm doing and I start the other thing. Audrey concurs. So loud. But if you guys are having trouble out there with time management, then just start looking at how you're spending your time. If you need time for more things in your day, start looking at how much time you spend watching TV at night. Like, I don't watch TV at all, hardly. I mean, Felix has gotten me into watching a little bit, but I don't really watch TV at all. And I fill every hour of my day with something. I just am always filling my days, of course.
Okay. Can I add something to that? Because that is something I preach all the time. I used to preach that to you. I preached it to other clients. I preach it to myself. And this morning, when I'm on the road, it's really hard, especially when I'm in different time zones, because I have to literally put it on my calendar like 10 a.m. Central Time, because in case I'm on my computer and it doesn't go over to the time zone, but it's on my phone. Anyway, long story short, I got on my phone. I slept in today because I was pretty beat up from being on my feet all day yesterday. And I got up to look at my phone for a second, and I'm like, oh shit, I have a call in 5 minutes. So what I'm going to add to that is that, and I try to do this too, is like the night before, like when I go to bed, I look at my calendar before I go to bed to make sure, okay, what's up tomorrow? Yes. So that I know what's up tomorrow, even though I'll probably forget when I wake up. But I didn't do that last night, and thank goodness I made my call this morning. So I would add to it, schedule it, and then every night review it.
Right. That's part of my morning routine as well, is once I get up and do my morning stuff, I'll take a look at what is my, what's going on for the day? What are my priorities for the day? What's like the anchor point of the most important thing, whether it be my block of calls or like, I just was showing property today. That took a big chunk of my morning. And then I look at it again at the end of the night to think about the next day. Yeah. But importantly, I spend Sunday evening, and I have that in my schedule too. Plan your week. Yeah. And I look at everything so I can kind of see where I can add in the me stuff, because the me stuff is super important. Like my yoga classes right now and my workouts, like I'm into the yoga thing before the wedding, but just, you've got to schedule that me time. You've got to schedule that family time, or it gets brushed aside.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so I've got a double quickie tip today because these are fresh on my mind. So, quickie tip number 1, be ready for the sale. And here's what I mean about that. I've had some sales conversations scheduled with people selling stuff to me that I'm in the market for buying. And I wanted to kind of comparison shop and get a feel for people, which is what buyers do, right? We do research as a buyer, and I also buy based on likability and do I like you? Do we have a connection? Do I trust you? But one thing I noticed is that besides all that, I need to feel confident and safe that you know what you're doing. And I had one call and they said they would get back to me because they needed to do more research. And then I had another call that person knew exactly what it was I needed and was able to in 5 minutes address my issues and concerns. And I'm like, that was a no-brainer. So you want to create a no-brainer situation for your buyer that they feel this level of confidence. Hey, Audrey. to buy, right? So that's quickie tip number 1. Quickie tip number 2, this came up when I was speaking. I had 2 speaking events yesterday, and I'm always super sensitive to people in the room, especially when I'm speaking to CEOs. And there was a CEO in the room that did not seem engaged at all. And it was really frustrating me. And if you're a performer, you know it because you can see when the audience is not interested. And he was on his phone and he kept getting up and he kept coming back. He even seemed frustrated during some exercises. And I was like, gosh, I'm losing him. And it's also important for me because when I speak at Vistage, they rate me. So I'm performing for ratings, not just money, right? So I took time at the break because he had asked me a question and he seemed frustrated before the break. And then at the break, I was like, hey, I just wanted to check in with you. Was I able to address your concerns? And he's like, oh my gosh, yes. And then he totally opened up and shared some really personal stuff with me. He wasn't feeling good that day. And he went on to share more personal stuff with me. And by the end of the day, he was requesting me on LinkedIn and I at first read it as he was aggravated with me. But he was kind of checked out for personal reasons, but I was able to re-engage him. So you need to really watch how people react, how they respond, and be really sensitive to that and have the emotional intelligence for it. So those are my 2 big learnings in the past 24 hours.
Because you could have easily gone the other way and be like, well, F that guy,
Yeah.
But
that was sort of my initial reaction. I'm like, ugh.
I know it because I've been on stage a lot of times where you see people that aren't engaged, you see people that look disinterested or whatever the look on their face, but sometimes it's not what you think at all. So that's
right.
Awesome.
Right. So those are my 2 quickie tips. Tomorrow we have a new episode of Women Your Mother Warned You About coming out with Yumi and Keith Walters, the man behind the microphone.
Okay.
And the topic is getting back to business. So we're talking about those things that get in the way are in our, mainly in our personal lives that affect us getting our jobs done and keeping our businesses running and doing sales calls, and how do we get around that? So that's what tomorrow's episode is all about.
Super excited about that one, but really, really excited about some of the people we have coming up, going to be guests on our show. I'm so thrilled, and you guys will love it. So
okay, I do want to do a little teaser on that.
Okay.
Because that people might not know this person by name, but I did have a great meeting last night with a major agency in LA/Hollywood who represents a lot of really big names, with books and speakers, authors and speakers. And he's going to come on our show and talk about what it really takes to be a really great speaker and to get representation. So I am super jazzed about that. And then we got another big guy coming on.
Yeah, let's just not tell him about that.
Yeah, we're not going to tell.
dying. I'm about to re-listen to his the book associated with his. You guys will love it. And then there's some other great female guests we have lined up, and just you guys, so excited and grateful that you guys are listening. And please let us know what topics you'd like to hear about. You can comment below this video or go to our Women Your Mother Warned You About Facebook page and let us know. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show, please let us know.
Oh, and hey, I've got one more tip to make. Wait, hold on. Okay.
Oh God.
I'm at my nephew's house, so I'm staying with my nephews, and my youngest nephew just walked out with a piece of paper that said, "Lawn guys are here, be quiet." I'm sorry, I just got so distracted. I love those kids.
You should be quiet.
I think that's what he was saying. I'm not sure. Another thing I want to share, I'm super excited about, is the Pivotal Leader came back today. The Pivotal Leader podcast, which is the original podcast that I produced, and it came back really strong, featuring Jeffrey Gitomer and Jennifer Gluckow as the relaunch. So some really great sales tips on that podcast that launched today. So thepivotalleader.com, go check that out for some good sales tips.
And to listen to our previous episodes of Women Your Mother Warned You About, please visit womenyourmotherwarnedyouabout.com.
Woo woo!
All right, you guys, have a great day. Gina, be safe out there in Dallas. Woo woo! Yeah.
Love you. Bye. Bye, everybody.